At some point, of course, everything was okay, and then later on, it became rocky.
Yes.
And they were like, speaker must go. And they were probably tell us what was happening until at some point they were like, you're not supposed to be there as their speaker.
First of all, of course, that is the elephant in the room. First of all, impeachment of the speaker is provided for in law. And even in the standing orders, isn't it? So it is something, when you come in as a speaker, you should expect that at one time, if you don't do what you expect it to do, you can be impeached. Just like the president, and just like any other person, governor, all of them are subject to impeachment. From my experience, it has been basically a misinterpretation of the role of the speaker. That has been the biggest undoing. And that's why we've had a problem. I've stood my ground and told them there must be grounds for impeachment of the speaker. And if those grounds are valid and you meet the threshold set, then I shall tell them I have no problem. The problem is a failure by a staff is then attributed to the speaker. Occasionally there are political considerations, isn't it? There are always differences in a political setup. There are always differences. Sometimes even here, just regional. Yeah, you know, Kakamega basically is roughly in about 3 regions: the southern, northern, and the central. So sometimes those regional politics start come into play. Yeah.
Among the issues they were raising was mismanagement of funds. They were saying, Speaker ametumia pesa visivyo. Was it something that, I mean, what amount or the allocation for the assembly is what they were talking about? And how is it even used in the first place now that they were only accusing you?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. In the first place, it could be a misinterpretation of the role of the speaker. And you see, like right now here, we've been talking about the issues of money. Eventually, I cannot sign any document to do with money. What usually happens is that we approve at policy level. Basically, the speaker is concerned about the budget. Each budget, the budget has its own, vote. The budget has each specific vote. Once that one has been passed, then it is for implementation by the accounting officer, who is the clerk of the county assembly. One time I was telling people that I don't know the color of our check.
Of the county assembly?
Yes. It's not my business. It's not my business. It's the business of the accounting officer and his team. You know, one thing I was telling you, when we started devolution, I could even be the legal advisor. You know, we didn't have staff. So I'd also be the legal advisor. Sometimes the internal auditor, you know, trying to ask questions about us. No. After we have employed you, you take up your roles. If you are doing something fishy, if we discover, then we take action. And that's what we did in several cases. But you see, you don't expect me to go to the accounts office and check what is happening there when we have an internal auditor and we have external auditors coming from the office of the Auditor General. You'll be losing your role. You know, people come here and ask, no, do you know your staff is doing this? Do you know your staff is doing this? I tell them, that is not the role of the speaker. This person has an immediate supervisor. Unless it's a case where somebody is taking alcohol, cannot be able to control himself, then I can offer some counseling. Please. But here, everybody has his own mandate. And that thing to do with the money squarely belongs to the accounting officer. You expect that if money is lost, you do some auditing, isn't it? You know, the auditors never ask me any questions. They just make a courtesy call here and go with the accounting officer. So the speaker does not handle money. And the speaker cannot take money. If there is any money transferred to my account, maybe it's for salary or other activities, just like any other person. And I cannot transfer that money myself. There's another person who is supposed to do it. Like right now, the person who is in Nairobi trying to chase our money is our director of finance. I can only go there when now some political muscle is required. Yeah. In fact, I would call the media here and issue a press statement. But the issue of knowing who is in the central bank now, who is where, is for the accounting officer and his team.
Okay.
We have somebody in charge of budget. We have somebody in charge of the finances, and all those people work together. We have an internal auditor who gives a report, in fact, to the clerk.
Okay.
Yes, who is his immediate boss.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could hear it. I saw even in the media, and after that, you come back and ask a honorable member, did you believe in what you're saying, or you just wanted to entertain yourself? Yeah.
Okay, so among those that worked and those that didn't work, you've probably told us a few of the challenges and hiccups that you had. What worked for the 10 years that you have been the Speaker of the Assembly?
A lot. In fact, I'll just summarize by saying we have delivered on our mandate because we have our work cut out. Legislation, oversight mainly, and representation as far as the honorable members are concerned. I'm assuring you that we have delivered on our mandate, including, we have talked about the bills, the issues to do with the oversight. We have done a lot of public participation to educate members of the public on the running of the assembly and what is required. So, quite a number of things. We have been able to achieve much. Even in terms of training, we have already trained our staff. Basically now the systems are ready to go. The systems are ready to go. Unless there's something specific.
So the bills you've said so far you...
It's over 80. So I didn't
Over
have the
80.
list here. Yeah. Which have already been converted into acts. In fact, the last function was last week when His Excellency the Governor was ascending to some bills, including the people living with disability bill, which they have been pushing for quite some time.
Okay. Yeah. Which one stood out for you and will say, actually I did this and this is my legacy that I'm leaving behind as the Speaker?
Amongst the bills? Or that?
Many of the things that you've done so far will say like this is a legacy that you'll be proud of, that you've left behind or you've done so far as the Speaker.
Mainly it's just setting up the structures.
Okay.
Yes, setting up the structures and passing precedent-setting laws. One, like even that one of people living with disability, it is very specific to Kakamega. Number two, we have a bill on community areas. You know the law envisaged that will go back to the village, it will go up to the village. We devolved further to the community area, and we have community area councils. And of course, most people do not know that we have the Kakamega anthem. We have honors here. If I write here my name, of course, I hold a Moran of Order of the Burning Spear from His Excellency the President, but I also hold a EGJ, Elder of the Green Jewel, from His Excellency the Governor. Yeah. So, I'm saying that we have passed a law where you, if you are performing very well in Kakamega here, we can be able to honor you. Yes. And I can give you the example of Hasamba. Hasamba is a boxer from, I think, Huisero or something like that. He won gold in the Commonwealth some time back. And people just forgot about it. Then he said, no, Kakamega, we can recognize our own. Let him, let's give him a medal. Of course, Sukuma Binongaro, I think, eventually never made it. But those are some of the people. He was awarded, yes. Some of the people that we are considering. And saying, if you are not going to recognize, if they are not going to be recognized at national level, we are going to recognize them at county level. So we have those unique bills that make Kakamega the leading county in terms of legislation that is converting the counties into those government entities. It's a complete government. So that it's a government on its own. What the national government can do, we can do.
On issues of you said you are given a ceiling on what you have to spend.
Yes.
Will you recommend maybe a more allocation?
Yes, yes. What happens is that
From what
I've
to
just
what
received
maybe?
a letter. I don't think it's here. We received a letter which still shows, despite all the changes, the inflation and what and everything, we are still required to use $1,096,000,000. Yet what we require is about 1.7 billion. And our argument is well founded. Some of the challenges that we are having in terms of funds is that no formula was used to arrive at that amount of money, 1,096,000,000.
So that is from SRC.
Yes, the CRA, the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Those are the ones who have fixed that ceiling, the CRA. So eventually we did an analysis and said, somebody wakes up and says Kakamega should get 1,096,000,000. Isiolo should get maybe 500 million. There is no rationale. So we said, what we have been agitating for is like the 1 shilling, 1 vote. We are saying, if you give Isiolo 500,000 and assume that this money is going towards serving an MCA, whether it's paying salary or doing what, it is serving. So you divide that money according to the number of MCAs. The Isiolo MCA ends up with several millions. Kakamega MCA, if you divide the money you have been given by 90, it ends up with very little money. So we had said, let's be simple. Let's say, Kakamega, how many do you have? Every MCA we are allocating you this. Isiolo, how many do you have? Yes. Then that money comes here. We can say the staff should be paid salary because they're serving MCAs. We should buy furniture because it's serving MCAs. But we want some proportional allocation. Yeah. So we went there to the CRA, Commission on Revenue Allocation. They told us they're going to give us another 300 million. I'm surprised what has come today as approved is 1,096,000,000. So of course, this time late a bit in the day in terms of our tenure in the office. So we have left the clerk to try and compare that with what we had asked for. Yeah.
So do we have pending bills?
Yes, a lot of
Amounting
pending
to?
bills. I don't have the exact figure, but the pending bills are more than 20 million. Yeah, the last time they were about 40 million, but we reduced. You see, those are some of the challenges that we are talking about. We are talking about money not coming on time. So you are forced to abandon the budget and start maneuvering around to see when am I going to get salary. Sometimes we pay the net salary and say when some more money comes, we shall pay the other statutory deductions, the other payroll byproduct. Yeah.
There's these laws that you came up with. I mean, so unique because it's not been there.
Yeah.
The local brew.
Yes.
And
yes.
it actually sort of brought a debate.
Yes.
Will you kindly shed some light on the same?
A lot of controversy, and those matters are in court. So I think I'll try to limit myself. It was not just about local brew alone. We even prescribed the issue of packaging. How will you package? What is the lowest quantity that you can put in a bottle? There was this nuisance of sachets and all those things. People come and walk with the alcohol in the pocket because it's in a sachet and it's very easy. So basically what we are saying is that we wanted to regulate, and that's what the law is. We wanted to regulate that consumption of the local brew, which in our thinking is important. The other areas, the other neighboring countries where people take the local brews, but in a regulated manner, without having to run up and down with the police. Of course, when we had a meeting with the central government, guys are saying, you people are purporting to license changa, which is a famous drink. I said, no, we're going to keep arresting those people until... But you see, if we have a mandate, we exercise it. Let's try it. Let's see if we can package changa. Let's see if people can take busa in a regulated way. Yes. Now that comes to what I was telling you, that it becomes very hard to express changa in English. Or busa. You know, you're talking about local brew. Local brew has also so many other versions of it. So that is what I was saying. So our feeling was, it is our mandate to ensure that we have the consumption of alcohol is regulated, including its packaging, transportation, and storage. So we passed a law covering that. It brought a big problem. Of course, the central government was against it. The other players, actually, they're the ones who took us to court, not even the central government. The other players took us to court, thinking that we are licensing an illegal drink, which was going to compete with the regular drinks. But the people take Uganda Waraji here in Uganda without any big problem.
So far, how many bills have been challenged in court?
I think it's that one. That I'm trying to remember another one which was affecting everybody. I think it's on licensing tracks. That one we were taken to court, almost the whole of the western counties. They were saying you cannot license operations. Ours was, when a truck comes in, let's say, and it was a finance bill, when a truck comes in at the fair market to deliver some produce, it's charged according to the tonnage that it's brought, even if it's cabbages, maize, what. But the truck owners were saying, when they're in Kisii, they live with the products in Kisii, they are charged at the exit. So they didn't want again to be charged when they reach Kisumu, when they reach Kakamega, and that. So that one I can also remember. We were taken to court.
Okay.
But like I said, now we have a legal department. When we are taken to court, and this one we are taken to court as a county now, not as an assembly. Yeah. Okay. So we leave the technical people, the county attorney, to deal with them. Yeah.
During your time, of course, there was also a controversial one, a controversial bill of Kuku Bill, something like that. How far did it go? Was it implemented?
No, you know that those bills, those ones are temporary. It's a finance bill, and it's usually for a financial year.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, we operate in a political setup. And that time, people, I think, were against the governor who was in place at that time. You see, people kept on saying, how will you tax my cuckoo? I stay with my neighbor. How will you know the cuckoos belong to the neighbor? And that was a person who is keeping chicken in town and in a specific place where you can get them. And you really also don't have to go and count the chicken physically. It's just like you want to do some poultry farming. What should you charge? Poultry farming. I mean a poultry farmer. Yes. So those things, but they misinterpreted. You know, it was very hot. My dad passed on. It was just around that time. So during the burial, everybody said, hey, muna tax mboga bwana. And you know, I'm sitting there.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there as the speaker. So, you know, but those were guys who really, there were a lot of demonstrations.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Let me tell you this, when it comes to taxation, it's a big problem. If you are on a payroll like me, if you pick your pay slip, my friend, you'll not be happy when you look at it. You'll look like you're working for government. So that is the problem that we had. There was even the deputy speaker who had to be removed because of those issues. You see, when you are passing a bill, there is a time the speaker leaves the house, then the deputy speaker or another person or a member of the speaker's panel takes over that bill and starts going clause by clause. Clause 1. If you are agreeing, it is voted for. If somebody is proposing an amendment, that amendment is voted for. So what the deputy speaker at that time will do is that he presides over this, clause by clause. We finish, he calls me in, we pass that bill. The next day, he's on the road demonstrating. So he comes in and asks my friend, what has happened? This bill, you are the one who actually presided over.
Sure.
Yes, because at that time, the speaker is not in. That time, it is you who's saying clause 1, which is saying tax cuckoo. You say yes. Clause 2. Then the next day, you are demonstrating. What happened? He says, I wanted to be with my people. No. So he had to be removed because sometimes you have to make up your mind.
Okay.
Yeah, where you want to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that one ended. The taxation could still be there. They have just changed the language. But that is, if you were to take tax on one of the leading politicians here, not here, in this country, who does a lot of poultry, you'll make a lot of money. Yeah, the politician who said he started by selling cuckoo in some area, he still continues that. He has more than 2,000 and 5,000 birds, 10,000 birds. That's a source of income. So all of us want services, but we don't want to pay for it through taxation. Even me, I don't want to pay KRA anything.
Yeah, so I think that we wanted you at least to shed some light on what worked, what didn't work during your time. And maybe after that, you're saying, is it constitutional that you can't go for the third term?
No.
So you just decided, like, I think
I just decided to change my station of operation. Yeah.
Okay.
And if anything, if anything happens, you could just find me here. I wanted to give you an example of Kwale. The Speaker of Kwale, the first assembly, ran for governor. When he saw that things were not going very well, he was the first one to congratulate the governor and very quickly came back to run for position of speaker.
Oh.
And he was re-elected. So I can come back. This one has no limit. It's only that sometimes you want to change, sometimes it becomes monotonous doing the same thing throughout.
So why MP Matungu? Why do you want to serve Matungu?
That is an ambition I've had for a very long time. Yeah.
Maybe one or two things that you're going to do.
And you see, for me, I like working with the people. Yeah. I really want to go and serve the people of Matungu. Yeah. If you'll notice, when I talk to them, we are very close. We want just to relate now very closely. I've served out there. I now want to go and, I want the people who are paying tax as I was going to school in Mirere to enjoy my services. Yeah.
Now, what are some of the things that you think, what change do you want to bring to Matungu?
Matungu has all the problems that you can think about. And you need to bring change. The first thing, I've been a teacher. And the first thing you have to deal with is education. Education in Matungu has deteriorated so much. When I was a teacher at Namlungu High School, Form 1 had 3 streams, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. Now, Form 1, there are less than 10. The other classes, fellows, I mean, they are very low. The enrollment is very low. All the schools which, and you people used to write about it, St. James Namamba after the results, Koyonzo boys, Muira girls, all those, they are no longer functioning. Yes. So we have to fix it. But the most important thing that I want, ni ile wanaita pesa mfukoni. I have enough connections to to have my people of Matungu supported by NGOs and other well-wishers to set up small businesses, agro business. There must be some business element in everything that you do. That's what I'm trying to impact into them.
Okay.
So that kilimo ikuwe kilimo biashara. Yes. So, and they are very small things. Even Sheba here, Mheshimiwa Sheba, if I tell him, give me 1,000 chicks to give to a group of women, he'll do it. And the chicken, jogo, 1,000. 10 of them is 10,000.
Sure.
Even just the youth, keep selling, make me an MP, I go to Safaricom Foundation, I get even a car washing machine. The person to bring those things is not there. And yet, I am here as a son of Matungu, having enjoyed, like I said, resources of taxation and everything. I need to go back. So that the agro business is something that I intend to do it. And you start with small things, chicken, things which don't take much. And there are NGOs, which are ready to support. The NGOs which are ready to support.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
And other things, by the way, youth talent and development. I have a team of sponsoring. They won the Malala Cup. I think they got $1 million, started arguing about it. That team is now gone. So the best thing we need to do is to ensure that we serve our people closely. And for me, I don't want to start with those big projects. Those are government projects. But just to get donors. Even just getting one dairy cow, maybe per sub-location, to be allocated to a group of women or youth to take care of them.
Okay.
Yeah. There are so many things which I've stalled. A milk cooler is in Bulimbo, Harambe. Yeah. That means at one time, there was enough milk to be sold there.
Okay.
So we just revive it. Yeah. But there are so many things that you're going to do. Education is just priority. Then pesa mfukoni, although that's another person's slogan, but it's just a matter of getting these people to handle small projects. Matungi agriculture is productive. And I tell people, my slogan is honywa we honye. Ni kusaidia ujisaidie.
Okay.
I tell people, if we just started selling yams, Nduma, you have been to Halaba?
Yes.
Yes. They grow a lot of those things, but brokers just come and pick
and
and take them to Nairobi using Pro Box. So we just organize them into cooperatives, small groups, then help them in marketing.
What will you say was the working relationship between you and Governor Oparanya? How will you describe Governor Oparanya?
That working relationship between me and His Excellency the Governor was, I want to call it, of mutual respect. We did not always disagree, neither did we agree, but each one of us knew our positions. Yes. Mutual respect. Okay. You know, this is what the assembly is supposed to do. This is the mandate of the assembly. This is the mandate of the county executive. Of course, in the process of working, conflicts arise, especially where one looks like he's stepping on the toes of the other. But eventually we are able to talk. Yeah. I think the biggest advantage I had is that we used to meet every Wednesday to plan. Yeah. And we were professional. I have my diary. I've written there 3 things. When I arrived there, we discussed the 3 things and leave. There was no time to hang around the governor's office or have a drink with him. Official, and respected each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're also doing a story about him, his 10 years tenure.
Yeah.
So how would you describe Governor Oparanya? Yeye ni mtu aina gani?
Basically, I would say he's a performer. In short, he's usually determined. If he's determined to do something, he carries it out. Okay. And I think that's what we agreed. The first time, just immediately after our election, by the way, we didn't know each other. We met after he had been sworn in. He was preparing to be sworn in. The first time he came, you know, he had been Minister for Planning. He came for Kamkunji. It was not that official address. He came for Kamkunji with the members of the County Assembly and told us his blueprint. And I told him, if this is your thinking, because that was almost the second time we were meeting, if this is your thinking, I'm going to give you my support. And that's how we started with issues of going for the stadium, going for the teaching and referral hospital, all those things. And I could close my eyes and see how hospitals have changed some other towns. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much. We'll be talking.